Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, please? Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. All right. So, good evening, everyone. I apologize about
Can you
that.
hear me now?
Apologize about that. Thank you all so much. So, good evening and welcome to tonight's webinar. It's going to be an amazing. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. While you're giving me the feedback, please let me know where you're joining from. Just drop where you're joining from. If you're outside the country, I would like to know Abuja, Lagos, Oshobo, Kaduna, Jos, wherever you're joining from. Please just drop so that I can recognize you. So please just let us know where you are joining in from. Let's know where you're joining in from, please, very quickly. Yes, good evening. Good evening. Where are you joining in from? As I proceed, a quick one that would help you enjoy this class. If you're using Ibadan, good evening, Mr. Benga. If you're using your mobile, Lagos, good evening, Pastor Isaac. We have Abuja, we have Oyo Town, Toyosi, good evening, Perfect Vending, Abuja, good evening, Ibadan, James, good evening, Lagos, amazing, amazing, good evening, everyone. I'm sure you can feel the energy here. The energy here is palpable. Tonight is literally going to change the trajectory of your career. Now, if you're using your mobile phones, one thing you might want to do is click on the settings in your YouTube. All right, so click on the settings button, go to quality. Good evening from Abuja. Good evening from Lagos. PJ Consult. Good evening. All right, so go to the settings in your YouTube, click on quality and put it in the highest. Okay, so click on advanced instead of auto recommended. Click on advanced and put it in the highest so that you can maximize and enjoy this section. From Abuja, Victor, good evening. From Abuja, Temilolua, good evening. From Lagos, Aziz, good evening, everyone. All right, so once you've done that, and you can put your phone to landscape mode, you would enjoy the section. Good evening, everyone. Once again, tonight, I'm here to show you how to prepare IFRS compliant financial statement using AI. And the AI tool that I will be using tonight is Claude. All right, so let me share my screen. We're going to be using Claude. Yes, so I believe you should be able to see my screen now. Let's wait for it to pop up. It should pop up in a minute. Let me confirm that. All right, please, can you see my screen? Claude should be on the screen now. Can you see my Claude screen, please? Okay. Yes, beautiful, beautiful. So this is Claude, and what I want to demonstrate tonight, I am not going to exceed the 60 minutes. I will not exceed it. So please pay rapt attention. You can write, you can take your notes, whatever you want to do. Just ensure that you are free from distraction. So one thing I've done to ensure that we maximize our 60 minutes, now is about 54 minutes, is this. I prepared my prompt. All right, like I usually love to do. I prepared my prompt. So I'm going to show you the prompt. We'll start the operation. All right. Then I'll show you the records and I'll start explaining exactly what is going on in the background. So I already have all my source documents. All right. Let me show you this is my prompt library. All right. So I'm going to copy the first prompt. We're going to examine it together. All right, so here's my first prompt. I typed this out. I do not want to waste time live. Okay, typing this, I did not want to waste time. So I'm going to copy this here. So let's review this together. We're going to review this together. Let's see exactly what I am telling Claude to do. Okay, so let's review it here first. So here is it. I said, I will provide you with the opening trial balance and 9 source books or documents, whatever you want to name that, for Jude AI Varsity Limited for the year ended 31st December 2024. And here are the records, the source documents that I'm going to be providing in Claude. So I have the sales day book, I have the debtors ledger, I have the hostel and bookshop, that's the cash sales, I have the cash book, the purchase day book, the payroll register, the fixed, that's the fixed assets register. I have the lease and grant agreement summary, and I have the general ledger. And here is what I want Claude to do. I want you to recognize that the sales day book records invoices raised are raised, while the cash book records cash are actually received. Okay, I want you to post each book to the correct general ledger account, building up from the opening trial balance, of course. I want you to cross-reference the student fees ledger against the sales day book. Okay, so one track receivables. Okay, and cash book to confirm the receivable movement is consistent. Then I want you to produce the trial balance as at 31st December 2024. And I'm also telling it to verify. That's one to ensure that our trial balance is balanced. Okay, so it should verify that total debit is indeed equals total credit. And as well, flag any account where it's hard to make a judgment call about which book a balance came from. This is going to be very interesting, and I'm excited about what you're about to see live. Okay, so we all have all our source documents. I will show you. Okay, but first off, let me feed Claude all the source documents. Okay, so this is Claude. What you want to do, you click on the plus sign here. Okay, so you click the plus sign and you click on add files. Now, one thing about Claude, let me quickly mention, let me state this. Usually, Claude prefers Claude prefers if your documents are in PDF. Okay, PDF format. Claude reads that, it renders PDF format better. However, mine is on Excel. Mine is on Excel. Okay, so here are all the records I'm going to be feeding Claude. I have the trial balance, I have the sales day book, I have the purchase day book, the payroll register, the lease, this. There should be 10, yes, and this in total. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops, it's taking up everything. I don't need it to take everything. So let me remove the ones I do not want it to take. Okay. So let's count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See how amazing this is. Now, let me quickly mention also that the version of Claude that I'm using is the paid version. I am using the paid version of Claude. So let me send this to Claude. Let us start doing this while I explain exactly what is happening in the background. So I'm using the paid version of Claude. If you are using the free version, I taught this in the last webinar that I had. If you are using the free version, please do not feed the entire document into Claude. If you do that, you will max out your daily limit very fast. In fact, almost instantly. So what you should do is you tell Claude that you will be feeding it documents one after the other. Okay. So what you want it to do is just uh, to analyze the document or keep the document, study the document. When I am ready, I'll tell you what next to do. So when you tell Claude that Claude is ready, so you feed it the first document and you say, this is the first document, I will continue in the next. Claude will say, I am ready, go ahead. So until you feed it probably the first 2 or 3 documents, okay, or until you're done, then you can now tell Claude what to start doing. That is how to navigate if you are using the free version of Claude. All right, so I'm using Claude for tonight. If you're using the free version of Claude, that is what you should do. Now, while Claude is doing all of this magic in the background, I forgot to show you something. So we're using Sonnet. Oops. Okay. I'm not going to stop. Let me stop this. Should I stop this? All right, let's continue. Now, I was meant to change the model. I was meant to change the model. Let me stop this. I'm going to stop this. Yes. So I want to change the model to the highest model currently, and that is Opus 4.8. And I'll tell you why. Opus 4.8 corrects itself, can identify when it makes mistakes, and also corrects itself. That is the beauty of Opus 4.8. Now, the model we're using initially, mistakes, we could encounter, if it encounters mistakes, you would be the one that would have to flag it, this, and that can be very cumbersome. Okay, so you just want to save yourself from that stress, from the angle and all of that, and just use Opus 4.8. It's a game changer. So Opus would know when it makes mistake, will call its own attention to the mistake it's made, and then it will correct its mistake. It's beautiful. We are going to see everything live very shortly. Okay. Now, the latest model of Claude was actually Fable 5, but US government and all of that, they had to recall that. And so we can't even say Fable 5 here right now. All right, so let me quickly share. Let's look at the source document so that we understand exactly the information Claude is working on. Okay, so that we can indeed tell Claude, you're doing absolute nonsense. This is not what you should be doing. So here's a copy of the trial balance. This is Jude AI Varsity Limited. Okay, and this is the record for 2024. So we have, this is the opening trial. This is the trial balance. You can see these are the non-current assets. All right, you can see the accumulated depreciation. You can see the current asset. You can see the equity side, the non-current liability and the current liability, and this is balanced. Okay, so you can also confirm this. We can also confirm, run our own check, but this is balanced. So let's quickly run our check. No, I don't want you to do that. Okay, I don't not want you to do that. I want us to run the check so that you confirm that. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. That's E. Okay, that's E to E first off. Okay, so that's, yes, good. E to what? Yes, beautiful. All right, so we can see that we are good. Our trial balance is balanced. Okay, so that's the first thing we want to check. Let's look at other records very quickly. Here's the sales day book. Okay, so here is the record of how we generated tuition and all of that for that particular year. So you can see, so in Jude's Varsity, we ran 4 cohorts, right? Like I do, we run 4 cohorts in a year. Okay, even in the Finance AI Academy, we run 4 cohorts in the year. Okay, so you can see the cohort, you can see the dates that all of these were realized. You can see the invoice number, you can see the student name, you can see the programs that they paid for, you can see the invoice amount. Okay, you can see the cash, okay, the cash that was collected, then the credit extended. You can see all of that for each of the cohorts. Okay, so you can see the corresponding balances. Okay, now let's move, let's check the others. Let's check okay, I'm not going to show you the receivables. This is for the hostel and the bookshop. All right, so you can see the figures for Q1 to 4. Okay, you can see the number of students occupying the hostels vis-a-vis the rates per student and the total hostel fees generated or collected. All right, I just want us to quickly go through all the records. Now let's look at the cash book. Then you can see the cash book, you can see the particulars and all of this, the receipts, payments, okay, and the running balance, and you can see all of that. So you can see all of that. Okay, then let's move. Let me show you the purchase day book. All right, so here are the things you purchased. Here are the things. These are the suppliers, the invoice numbers, the description, and the amount. Okay, then we move. This is the payroll register. All right, so these are our staff. We have the academic staff. These are our academic staff, their roles and their salaries. This salary is small, sha. Okay, then we have the administrative and support staff. All right, we have the salary, so we have the total. So that's our payroll for 2024. Then let's move. Let me show you the fixed asset register. So here's the fixed asset register. All right, here are the things. These are fixed assets. We have the land and building. We have the lab equipment, furniture fittings, motor vehicles. We have a staff bus, hostel. Okay, then on that we have the right of use assets. Then we have our LMS platform. All right, so that's where our students take lectures. Okay, and we have all of this. So this is our fixed asset register. These are all the source documents that we are working with. All right, then we have our lease agreement. Okay, so where we are, it's on lease agreement. Okay, so it's a 5 year lease term. Okay, and this is the annual rental and all of this. So we have all the information here. Then here's our general journal. Okay, so this is the general journal. Beautiful. Okay, beautiful, amazing. And we have the debtors ledger. All right, so here are the students' records of what we are yet to receive, those that are still owing us. Okay, so we have this. Now, one thing you would, okay, so we have the opening balance, new credit extended, we have scholarship waiver. So we actually give some students discounts, then collection during the year, and the closing balance. So here are the records that we gave Claude. Okay, here are source documents. Okay, now for you, whatever source document you're working with, all you need to do is feed it into Claude, tell Claude exactly what to do, and you would have that. Okay, so Claude is done. Yes, Claude is done. So let's come here. Let's see what Claude has done. See what Claude has done. Okay, so let me quickly walk you through the logic. Claude says I'll walk you through. I want us to read this. Now let me read all the source books. This, okay. Now I have all the data. Let me build the closing trial balance. All right. Wrote the Python code to produce the Excel. So post all books. So balance total is equal to correct. Let me verify. All right. Now look at this. Look at this. That was what I was telling you about Opus 4.8. I found two important reconciliation points. The receivables cross check confirms this, but the general ledger posting shows trade receivables netting to this and deferred revenue netting to this. Okay, the key issue is this: the credit sales of these invoice on credits were never debited to trade receivables. Now look at this. Look at this. Okay, let's proceed because of time. So it's going to resolve it. Okay, it's going to resolve all the challenges, and it's also going to flag and tell me exactly what happened. Okay, so here's the judgment call, the most important one. So 215,000 credit extended leg appears in no cash book. Whoops. Okay. All right, so we're going to get back to this. Okay, let's proceed. So I'm going to download this. Let's download this. All right, so this is the trial balance. Let's download this and we will move. Let's download this. Are we still together? Is this making any sense? Let me know if this is making sense. I'm going to read your comments very shortly. Please just let me know that it's making sense, that you can still hear me indeed. Can you still hear me? Can you hear me? All right, let me read through the comments. Oh, you can see it. The screen is not clear. Please, for that, I've already mentioned what to do if the screen is not clear. I said on your YouTube, click on the settings. On settings, go to quality. All right, and on quality, change it, click on advanced, then take the highest. So yours might be 720p. That is how to ensure that this is clear. Then you can zoom in on your device if you're using your phone. That is how to do this. Someone says you can't see anything. I believe people can see the slide. Okay, there is a lag. Please, are we still together at this point? I need to know. Okay, so for those that are saying it's not clear, I've told you what to do. Okay, so go to your I shouldn't be doing this live actually. I shouldn't be doing this live, but in your YouTube, okay, while you're watching me now, go to settings. All right, you see settings up top right. You see that icon for settings. Click on the icon. Once you click on the icon, you would see it will pop up or pop out. You would see quality. Click on quality, click on advanced, and choose 720p or the highest that you have. That's how to ensure you're clear. Then zoom in. All right, thank you for the feedback. All right, so we proceed. We don't have so much time. I'm almost using 30 minutes already. So I've downloaded this. We're going to review what Claude has done. But while we're doing that, let me give Claude the next thing I want it to do. Okay. I have 6 prompts that I want us to walk through this evening. So let me quickly feed it the next one. So I'm telling prompt. Now we have our trial balance. Okay. I want you to prepare statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. Okay. And I've told you exactly the logic to use here. All right. I don't necessarily need to give it all of this. Claude knows what to do anyways, but it's always safe. And that's prompting. All right. We call it prompting or prompt engineering. Okay. It's always safe to tell prompts what to do. Do not assume with Claude or with any AI model that you're using at all. Do not assume. Always tell you what to do. Okay. So thank you. Using the closing trial balance, prepare this. Okay. So let me give it that and we would now check what it did. Okay. So while it is running, let's quickly check our trial balance. Let's open our and quickly check. Please, so let's quickly look at this. We are professionals here. All right, so we can be able to spot errors and spot all of that. While I'm opening that, it's so beautiful. You know, I was working on a client's record last week or this week rather, and I literally used AI to even generate the audit journal. I used AI to generate the audit journal. All right. So all I just needed to do was just confirm. All right. So I had the expense schedule, I had the income schedule, the bank statement, all of that. Everything was extracted. And I used Claude for that. I told Claude to prepare the audit journal. So all I just needed to do was confirm the postings, everything were right. Yes, there were mistakes. All right. Claude made certain mistakes and I had to correct it, correct this. And eventually we were good to go. So you can literally use Claude for for anything. However, there is a confidentiality clause, and I'm going to explain that. Okay, I'm going to explain that as we proceed. So here is our trial balance. All right, so we can see land and building NCAs here. That's correct. All these are NCA items. All right, accumulated depreciation. We need to confirm what rates. I believe we'll check that in the fixed asset schedule. Okay, we have the current asset and all of this. At the end of the day, is this balanced? All right, so this is balanced. Okay, now Claude is giving us reconciliation notes. So look at this: control reconciliations and judgment calls. Opening receivables plus new credit extended. Yeah, that was in the books. Yeah, so deduct scholarship, deduct instrumental collection, closing trade receivables. All right, so this matches. This is correct. So look at the logic. All right, so Claude is not just manufacturing anywhere. No, it's working based on the data that you gave it, and you can monitor every logic, every step. You are the expert. You're the one that is making the decision. You're making the judgment call and advisory. All right, so you want to check all of this. So you look at this: cash and bank. We have closing cash and bank general ledger. We have this. All right, so it matches. That's what it used. Okay, we have the deferred revenue. So we have the opening deferred revenue, add cash at enrollment, add credit extended, less released. All right, so we can see this. We have inventories. All right, so look at the inventory opening plus purchases, less cost of sales. Amazing. You can see the logic. Just look at this. So instead of what you would usually do manually and spend probably a whole day preparing your financial statements, we'll see how we do this in a matter of minutes. In a matter of minutes. Okay, so let us proceed. Let's proceed. I wouldn't know why this is not opening fully anyways. All right, so Claude is done with our statement of profit or loss. Amazing stuff. I'm going to download this again so that we can review this. Now take note, we did trial balance. We've done statement of profit and loss in how many minutes? In about 15 minutes. Actually, in about 15 minutes. So let's look at the logic here. So you can read this to understand the steps, the processes. Okay, so it's even still explained all of that. Then 2 presentation choices worth noting. All right, so Claude netted scholarship against gross tuition. Scholarship against gross tuition. Okay, yes. So that we can get to the actual. Okay, then rather than showing them as an expense under IFRS 15, I'm going to talk about this shortly. Okay, I'm going to talk about this shortly. So Claude is saying the next step is to prepare which is the natural next step. Okay, so that's the next prompt I am going to give it. All right, so let me quickly prompt and we'll check what Claude has prepared. What Claude has prepared. Now, there is something not wrong, but there's something I need to call your attention to based on what Claude is doing. And I'll tell you that very shortly. Let me copy this. So the next natural step is for Claude to prepare the closing trial balance. Okay. Okay, so I'm not going to use that prompt. I'm just going to tell Claude to proceed. All right, so Claude has told me next step, prepare the statement of financial position. So I'll tell it proceed. Okay, proceed. All right, so let's open our statement of profit or loss. Let's see what Claude has done. Are we still together, please? Are we still together? Are we still together? Trial balance not showing. Oh, okay. I think I know what could have happened. All right, so let me reshare. I'm going to reshare the trial balance, but it was showing here. Let me reshare the trial balance. What is that? Let me reshare the trial balance. Okay, so I'm trying to reshare my trial. Now I understand what is going on. Okay, just give me a minute. Apologies about that. Sorry about that. Yeah, so it's going to show shortly. It's going to show shortly. So just give me a minute. Okay. So in the background, Claude is working in the background. Okay, so let me share this. Let me see. I have to upload it. Okay. So just give me a minute. I'm trying to ensure that you see the trial balance. Okay, so it's gonna come up shortly. Oh, okay. There's a little challenge. Cannot read the format. Let me see. The format is, just give me a minute, please. It's important you actually see that. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Let me open the trial balance on Claude. Okay, so I'm just going to open the trial balance on Claude. We can see that together. So the software I'm using is not allowing me to upload that here. So let's go back to Claude. You'll be able to see that there. All right, so I'm just going to go back to Claude and open the trial balance. Okay. So it's done with the statement of financial position. Now we've done about three things in how many minutes? So let me go back to trial balance. Okay. Yes, this is trial balance. So it is opening just a second, and you would see that. Okay. Oh, another thing I could have done is to open it here. All right, so here's our trial balance. I believe you can see, we can all see this. Okay, it's not opened yet at your end. Okay, beautiful. So here's our trial balance. You can see this. Okay. So this is, we have the land, we have the non-current asset, the debit leg, the credit leg. Okay, we have the debit leg, we have the credit leg. Let me scroll. So you can see that, you can see the accumulated depreciation, the current asset, we can see the equity, the non-current liability, the current liability, we can see the revenue leg, we can see all the expenses, okay, and we can see the balance. So we can see that it's balanced. All right, so you can see it's balanced at 1,719,620. All right, so that's the trial balance. So I was showing you, so Claude was giving us the logic. So here's the logic. All right, the reconciliation and notes. So we can see for trade receivables. All right, this is what it did. Opening receivables, we can see that. Add new credit extended, okay, and this was gotten from the sales daybook. Deduct scholarship and bursary waivers, you can see this. Deduct installmental collections, deduct closing trade receivables, and we have the balance matches what is in our debtors ledger. Okay, so that is correct. We can see cash and bank, so it just got that directly from our general ledger. All right, you can see deferred revenue, so you can see exactly what Claude is doing in the background. So Claude is not just manufacturing figures and all of that. Claude is indeed using all the source documents that was fed into it. Okay, so that's what we have in our trial balance. Okay, so that's the trial balance. Let's look at what it did in in the statement of profit or loss, which was the next thing that we asked it to do. All right, so let's quickly check our statement of profit or loss. Here is it. Here is it. So it's very beautiful. Now, from bookkeeping up to and everything and anything, actually, you can literally use your AI across functions. Now, for this, we're doing this for financial statements. In one of the last webinars that I had, we did across bookkeeping, we did taxation, we did audit. It's extensive. All right, so let's look at our statement of profit, loss, and other comprehensive income. So you can see our revenue, you can see gross tuition, less the scholarship and bursary waiver. We have our net tuition, okay. Then we have our total revenue and other income. So you can see this. Then here is our operating expenses. All right, so we're deducting all the operating expenses. Okay, so this, like I said, these are all in all the records that we fed Claude. Okay, we have our total operating expenses. Now look at this. I did not give Claude the format to use. All right, now if you have, okay, let me proceed. Let me jump ahead of myself. All right, now so we have our total operating expenses, we have our operating profit. Look at this. Finance cost less lease interest. Okay, we have this. Then we have our profit for the year, and then we have our total operating expenses. Then we have our total operating profit. Okay, let's take a look at the statements. Okay, so here is it. Here is it. Beautiful stuff, amazing stuff. So I was telling you that earlier in the week I used Claude to even generate the audit note. All right, I used Claude to generate the audit note, and from there I just moved and did all of the things I needed to do. So literally, instead of spending an entire day or 2 days in preparing your financial statement with Claude, you're done and you can move to the next. You can take up more clients, you can do deep work. In fact, it's beautiful. We're in interesting times. So here's our statement of financial position. So we have our non-current assets, all right, property, plant, equipment, then our LMS platform. You can see this, our total non-current assets. You can see our current assets, okay, and our total asset here, okay. We can see our equity and liability. So here is the equity. Okay, our retained earnings, we have this. Then we have our non-current liability, lease liability, deferred tax, and all of this to give our total non-current liability. Then we have our current liabilities, all right, all of this. Then we have our total current liability, okay. Uh, okay, for some reason, I'm unable to scroll down. Let's see if this works. All right, so we have our total current liability. Okay. Okay. I wish I could show you. Okay, yes. So yes, beautiful. So look at our total equity and liability. Now you can check the logical. Actually, if I open this, you can indeed check. So Claude, one thing that Claude does is if you open this in Excel, you'll be able to see all the formulas that was used. Okay, so these are not just standalone figures. Everything is tied. Claude add codes the formula into the Excel sheet. All right, so you see the logic, you see the formula, you see everything tying up all together, and you're good to go. You're good to go. So this is not the Excel sheet. This is the Python environment. Okay. All right. So yes, Claude has done a statement of financial position. That's not all I wanted to do. Now let me go to my next prompt and now tell you what is going on exactly. Okay. So statement of cash flow is the next thing, last thing, financial statements we're going to prepare. So let's tell Claude to prepare our statement of cash flows. Please, are we still together? Are we still together? Please give me the feedback. Can you see my screen? Can you hear me? Is it making sense? The prompt for statement of financial position is not clear. Okay, I'm going to show that again. Trial balance is showing, please. I think we've gone past that. Yeah, it was showing. I could see it on my screen, but the prompt for statement of financial position is not clear. Okay, so I'm going to share that prompt again. Let me share the prompt here. Now I understand exactly what is going on. So let me share the prompt with you. Let me share the prompt with you. Uh, I believe it should render this. Oh, okay. It says PDF. Let's try this. Let's see if this is going to open. Let's try this very quickly so that I show you. Now, some of you would get access to the prompt, all right, the prompt and all the what is it called, all the data, all right, all the source documents that I used. Some of you would get access to it. I'm going to tell you exactly how to get access to that. Okay. Now, those in the Financial Year Academy, you have instant access already to this. Okay. All right. So it's not showing. Let me show you. Let me show it to you inside Claude. Anyways. All right. So let me show it to you inside Claude. So here is the. Let's go back. Okay, so for statement of financial position, I just asked it to proceed. All right, so I think this is popping up on your screen. Once it does, you'll be able to see my screen. Okay. All right. So now remember that Claude did prepared the statement of profit or loss. All right, so look at this one that I'm highlighting here. So when Claude did that, Claude now said that the next step is to prepare the statement of financial position. And all I just asked Claude to do is to proceed. Okay, is to proceed. Just a minute. I think there's a lag, but everybody is going to catch up. Okay. So if there is a lag in your device, if you're hearing me later, just check. You might not be in real time. You might not be synced with me. Okay. So you can see what I highlighted on the screen. Claude says the next step is to prepare the statement of financial position as at 31st December. So all I just told it to do, I just typed proceed. All right. That's what I told it to do. Now let me show you the prompt for statement of profit or loss. Okay. So this is what I told it. I said, thank you. Using the closing trial balance, prepare a statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income for the year ended 31st December 2024. Then I gave it all of this. Okay. IAS1, compliance, nature, and all of this. Then required. So I just gave it this, the logic, what to do. I don't need to give it the logic. Claude actually knows what to do. Okay. So that's not necessary. All right. So that's where we are at. Now let's move. So now recently, let me show you the prompt I gave for statements of the cash flow statement. All right, so here is it. I said, using the statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss, prepare a statement of cash flows for the year ended 31st December 2024 using the indirect method. Okay, IS7. Start from profit before tax. I just give it. I don't necessarily need to give it all of that. Anyways, Claude knows what to do again. But again, you want to guide Claude as much as possible so that you don't have to iterate. All right. So when I say iterate, you don't have to keep telling Claude or your AI model, this is not what I want. Do this, do this, do that, do that. No. All right. So once you prompt properly, you would get the best output from Claude. Okay. So here is our statement of cash flows. Let's see what Claude has done again. So we can see this Jude University, all of this, cash flows from operating activities. We can see our profit before tax. Okay. We can see adjustments for non-cash items. So we can see all of this, depreciation, amortization, impairment. You can see all of that. We can see our operating profit before working capital changes. We can see our working capital, the movement of working capital. We can see our cash generated from operation here. Okay. We can see, okay, our net cash from operating activities. Now look at our cash from investing activities. All right, our plant and machinery. All right, we can see all of that. Then look at our cash flow from financing activity. Okay, so we can see this. This is beautiful. I believe you agree Who agrees that this is beautiful? I don't know why this is not scrolling. Who agrees with me that this is beautiful? I want to know in the comments. Do you think this is worth your time? So far tonight, has it been worth your time at all? I need to look at. Okay, so this is not scrolling to the end, and that's fine. So we have our net increase in cash and cash equivalent. So you should be able to see our closing cash and cash equivalent as at 31st December 2024. Okay, so there's a verification tab here. Let's look at this very quickly. All right, so look at this. Closing cash per statement of cash flow is this. Closing cash per cash book is this. Cash and bank. So you can see that everything agree. Everything agrees. So you could just look at the logic and you see that we are good to go. So I was asking for a feedback. This is beautiful, amazing. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the feedback. Yes, I'm enjoying my time here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Beautiful, amazing stuff. Oh, it's worthwhile. Thank you so much. Absolutely, it's worthwhile. All right, so let's proceed. That's not all I want to do. All right, that's not all I want to do. So already we prepared. Remember, we started from the source document. Okay, so in your case, so let me tell you what I did with one of my clients. So my clients had their bank statement in PDF format. So in I think was it PDF or Excel? I can't remember, but it was a soft copy. So we had the soft copy. All I did was to extract all sensitive information from that bank statement. Please do not input sensitive information into AI except if you're using the enterprise model, the paid version and enterprise model. And there are ways around it, actually. There are ways, even if you're using the free model, there are ways around it. All right. So I stripped all sensitive information, the name of the client, names of vendors and all of that, the date, the name of bank. So all I did was raw data. All right. So I fed the raw data into my AI, told it to keep that, analyze, and I was able to do everything I needed to do. All right, so let's come back to class. So we started with our source document. We're able to do our SOP or L. We did our SOFP, and we've done our cash flow statement. That is not all I wanted to do. Okay. So let's come back to my prompt library. I'm going to tell you to do something very quickly. I want you to perform a full articulation check. Okay, and verify some things for me. All right, I know you can't see my screen yet. You see exactly. All right, so here's the prompt. Perform a full articulation check. All right, check for cash book closing balance, check student fee ledger, and all of that. Okay, so I told you to do a couple of things. Okay, um, then I want you to present a pass or fail table with the numbers verified. All right, so it's going to output that, and I'll tell you exactly what is going on. Now, if we have more time is running out. If you have more time, I would like us to run something. Now, if you observe, everything we are doing is not so we have not incorporated or we've not prepared this in line with the recent additions to our IFRS. So I believe IFRS 18 and 19, I believe. Which other updates do we have to our standards? This has not been prepared based on that. Okay, so if we have time, I would just want us to see and check together. I'll just tell Claude to prepare that, okay, in line with the recent addition, so that our disclosures are indeed tight. Okay, I hope what I said makes sense. This still goes because we have until 2027 for full compliance. So what we're still doing is still right. It's still very, very right. Okay, it's still very right. But I hope what I said makes sense. And what of notes to the line items in the account? So in each of these, there are notes. There are notes. I didn't call your attention to that. If you check each of the files that was created, you see the notes. Yes, IFRS 20. Thank you. You see the notes down there. There are notes there. Okay, and let's see. Let's proceed. Let's proceed. Let me see how far I can take you in tonight's class. Okay. So let me see. I would ask Claude to prepare a management report. Let's see how far we can go. Okay. Now look at what Claude has done. Claude has done it again. All right. So here's the articulation check. Let's see. Let's see very quickly. So our cash book closing is equal to SOFP cash and bank. So this was what was computed. This is what we add. This is the closing. This is the target. Okay. there are no differences. So indeed, what we did, all the operation was actually right. So we have a pass mark for this. Student fees ledger closing is equal to this. All right, is equal to the SOFE trade receivables. Okay, so our students closing balances, the tally, that makes sense. Then our retained earnings, look at the calculation, it makes sense. So we are good to go. I just wanted to verify that indeed, of course, I know we're good to go, but I just needed to verify again, especially if you don't have the time. So you can see all the logic here. This is all the logic actually. So you can see the build up. This is what Claude did. You can see everything here. Okay. And overall, all pass. So what this confirms, you can read all of this. All right. You can see the logic and all of that. Okay. So it's now telling me that the natural next step is to draft the accounting policy and disclosure note. So let's quickly do that. So I'll tell you to proceed. Okay. So proceed. That's all I'm telling you to do. Let's see that very quickly. Very quickly. Amazing stuff. I hope that I will be able to show you, we'll be able to do up to what now? Okay, let's just proceed. We might not be able to do that tonight. Well, I trust that you've got value for tonight's section. Initially, I wanted to start from just the financial statement, but I just changed my mind and no, let me show everyone here how to start from the source document. Okay, so it's not like we're just cooking figures and all of that. You see all the source documents. In fact, in the last webinar we did bookkeeping. We were able to clean, so we had data, scattered data. It was scattered around. We were able to use AI to clean the data, to consolidate the data, and from there we were able to run our analysis. We did financial analysis. I think it was in that section where I used Dangote's audited financial statement, and we ran beautiful, amazing analysis. Top level KPMG ready analysis is all we did in that webinar. So let's look at this. It's done. Is it done? Okay, is it done? All right, so Claude is still running. While Claude is running, you do not want to miss this. So I've been mentioning something. For those of you that will be interested in the recording, all right, you want the recording, you want my prompt library, you want all the data, all the source documents, all the data, everything that I used and I did tonight, so that you can practice on your own and get practice on your own, get all the data, get the prompts library, all right, watch the recording and practice on your own and get the exact result that we got tonight. This is your time. Okay, so yes, you can get access to this. So here is what I am doing. Here is what I've decided to do. For those of you that want the recording, all right, the recording has been put inside the Finance AI Academy. So I'm just going to tell you very quickly about the Finance AI Academy. Up till now, I have searched, I've searched all over, all right, and I've not seen any structure or any course that is Finance AI specific, that teaches finance professionals how to use AI across finance functions. The best that there is right now is Cursive. Many of you know Cursive because of their massive adverts, but Cursive is not finance specific. So Cursive shows you different AI models. In fact, up till the AI model you use for doing slides, AI model used for sending emails, AI model used for generating emails. That is not what we need as accountants and as finance professionals. Okay, so up until now, so you have stuff like Cursive, all right, and Coursera and all of that. They will show you marketing prompts, social media templates, generic business content, all right, and international generalization. Nobody really teaches how to use AI across financial functions. So across taxation, across audit, across bookkeeping, across consulting, and all of that. Okay. So what we've done is to create a Finance AI Academy. This is the only AI certification course built specifically for you, for chartered accountants, tax professionals, and finance leaders. Okay, so it's across board. Let me show you exactly what you will be getting inside this academy. Okay, so you can see course content. If you're using Cursive, it's general content. For in Finance AI Academy, you're getting tax specific content, audit, IFRS reporting, advisory, compliance, our examples are real live examples. Of course, tonight is real life. Okay, we are compliant. Okay, so regulatory compliance. We look at GDPR, IFAC ethics, and all of that. Fully compliant. Okay, professional standards. We are ISA aligned. Unlike, in fact, COSIP is, they don't even consider all of this. COSIP does not consider all of this, and the remaining of that regulatory context. So this is specifically built for you. And that is not all. It is a certification program. So at the end of the course or the certification program, you will be getting a certificate that will boost your profile internationally. All right. So you're going to get support to be added to an exclusive community. All right, that's not where we are headed. Now, let me show you exactly what you will be getting inside the Finance AI Academy. There are two tracks inside the academy. We have the foundational track. So from whatever level you are, you've never heard of AI before, this is for you. All right. So in this track, we look at AI fluency for finance professionals, prompt engineering for finance professionals, AI ethics, data privacy, IFA compliance. All right. We build your personal productivity system. All right. So AI for professional communication, AI research, and technical analysis. So basically, everything you need, we will give you a solid foundation. All right. So that whatever AI tool you see, you're confident. It's not like someone is coming to bamboozle you. No, not at all. All right. Once you're done with the foundation track, still inside the same certification program. All right. So the foundation track is 4 weeks. It's a 4-week foundation track. It's a study at your pace program. Okay. So whenever you have the time, every day, just watch the video. Videos are maximum of 10 minutes, maximum of 10 to 12 minutes max each video. Some are 8 minutes, some are 5 minutes. So it's something, they are bit size, so that on the go you are driving. All right. So just listen every day like that, consume the content at your pace for 4 weeks. After the 4 weeks, you're done with the foundation track. Then you can move to the practitioner track. Okay. So this is where you deal with taxation. Just come to AI in taxation and advisory practice and take all the modules there. You want to learn AI in audit and assurance, go there, watch the videos, do the quiz. Okay, there's a capstone project also. You're going to do a capstone project. You're going to have your graduation ceremony. I'm also going to be live. We're going to have live meetings every weekend where I come live. I teach you. You ask me any questions. Okay, so it's not just you going to watch videos and all of that. No. We have live sections. We have community. Okay, we have all of that. This is 2 weeks. At the end of 6 weeks, you would become a guru. You become an addition to any team. In fact, after the certification program, you're going to get your certificate. Go and ask for a raise. Just go and ask for a raise. Already, we have onboarded people. Okay, we have some persons that have paid for the test run. Okay, they paid. See amazing feedbacks that we've got. Now, here's the catch. Here is the catch. Why am I telling you all of this? For those of you that will maximizing this opportunity, you'll be getting access to my recording tonight. Tonight's recording, you get all the prompts, my prompts library that we used tonight. You'd also be getting the data set, all the source documents, data sets that I used tonight. That is not all. I'm going to be giving you access to all my previous webinars. Okay. So literally you have access to the initial Finance Academy that was built. All right. So you see all there you'd see for financial analysis, you would see for taxation, for AI, for bookkeeping. You would have access to all of that. You would have access to all the data sets I used in those trainings, all the prompt libraries, all the resources. You would have access to everything. All right. Now, what do you have to do? The only thing you have to do, let me quickly mention that the cohort is starting August 1. August 1. Okay, that's when we're starting the cohort. Now, all you need to do is do this now. All right. So you're paying just 20,500 to get access into the Finance AI Academy. All right. Now, this is for 24 hours, please. It's only for 24 hours. So in the next 24 hours, this time tomorrow, this price is going to revert to 25,500 for the month of June only. And that's pre-registration. From July, it jumps to 50,500. That is the registration fee. It jumps to 50,500. So I'm going to repeat that. For this webinar alone, for the next 24 hours, you can access the Finance AI Academy, which starts August 1 for 20,500 naira. However, you're going to be getting access to tonight's recording, access to all the data sets, access to the prompt library, as well as access to all my previous webinars and all of its resources. 24 hours, 20,500, and you get everything. You get your certification. Okay, so I'm going to drop this link. I'm going to drop this link now while we go back to Claude and consolidate this section. So once I drop this link, you're free to go and make your payment. Okay, so once you make your payment will be acknowledged and you'll be onboarded when it is time. Yeah, Coursera is broad. Exactly, Coursera is very broad. And even some of you have heard of Coursera. Coursera is what we still have that is close to an academy, all right, but it's still also very broad. How do we join the program? I've dropped the link. All right, so I just dropped the link now. I believe you should see the link, so you can copy and paste this link. Just copy and paste the link in your browser, make your payment. All right, so once you make your payment will be acknowledged. By tomorrow, you would have access to all the resources. Okay, by tomorrow, once the recording for this is ready, I'm going to just put it in the academy, so you will be onboarded with the email you used to pay. So please put the right email when you're making the payment via the payment link. Okay, you'll be onboarded appropriately. So let's come back to Claude. Claude, imagine the value you got tonight. Imagine what you would be getting inside the academy. So in the academy, we are not rushing. This is not a rush work. We take our time. You do the work. You get the output. You have challenges. I am available live to answer your challenges. So look at our notes, everybody, as we begin to round off tonight's section. Here's our note. Okay. So general information, this basis of preparation. These financial statements have been prepared in accordance with IFRS, okay, as issued by IASB, blah, 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 yes. Let's look at the significant accounting policies. So we used IFRS 15, IAS 20, 16 and 38, IFRS 16 Ds, financial instrument, IFRS 9, employee benefits, IAS 19, taxation, IAS 12. All right, so we have our note 4. You can see this. So here's our note 4. Here's our note 5. All right. Additions during the year were 40,500. So you can see this. This is comprehensive. You can see our intangible assets, trade receivables, deferred. Yeah, you can see all of this. All of this. This makes our job easy as finance professionals. I'm so excited for everyone that is here tonight. Like I said, in the post I did, I think it was yesterday, I said the value of this is 150,000. If we were going to sit down, if you were going to sit down in the same room with me for a standard training, I will charge nothing less than 150,000 for this thing that you're learning tonight. And that is why I said this is not for the public at all. There's something I want us to do. Let's try this very quickly. There's one more thing, but let me just do one more prompt and we'll call it a night. One more prompt, we will call it a night. So let's try this. Let's try this. Okay. I can draft, what is this? I can draft either. Let's see, you have a complete review ready set, trial balance, blah, blah, blah. One remaining piece for a full story pack would be the front. Okay, I don't want, okay, director's report and statement of changes in equity. Okay, so which one should we build? In the comments, which one should we build? Should we build the director's report or the statement of equity? We can only do one. So let's choose in the comments. Which one should we build very quickly? Director's report or statement of changes in equity? Can you send this to our email? Yes, I will send the link to the mails. Okay, so tonight you get the link to join the academy. All right, so please look for your email. Just search your email. So in your email, before you sleep tonight, just type Judah. You would find the link there. Okay, the link to join the academy. Can we access the paid version if you paid for the purpose of? Can you access the? I'm not getting this. Once you pay, you would get access to everything I mentioned. So it's not a problem. It's not a problem. So what do we do? Do we do the director's report or statement of changes in equity, or we are tired? Let's just call it a day. Which one? Statement of changes in equity. Okay, everybody saying statement of changes in equity. So let's do that very quickly. So I'll tell Claude, go ahead and prepare the statement of changes in equity. And after this, we will call it a night. So here's what I wanted to do initially. I wanted Claude to prepare our financial statements and incorporate the new additions to our standard. That is what I wanted Claude to do, but we do not have that time anymore. Okay, so that we are very recent, we are fully compliant, and we are very recent. It's possible. All right. So as we begin to round off, irrespective of what you do, you're into advisory, you're a tax consultant, you are a CFO, all right. Very soon, in fact, in the Finance AI Academy, we are going to be looking at one of these for the practitioner track. You're going to be looking at model building, how to build models using AI. That will blow your mind. Okay, so how to build models using AI. That's for the CFOs. All right, so you have the bookkeeping, you have that for tax, for audit, and all of that. So it's immersive, it's all inclusive, and even at 50,500 is still cheap. However, in the next 24 hours you get access for just 20,500. Okay, so here's a statement of changes in equity. So where is it? Balance, opening balance. So we have share capital, share premium, meetings, and total equity. All right, so you can see this profit for the year, total comprehensive income from the year for the year. So here are the total transactions with owners. You can see that. You can see the balance as December, and you can see the notes. Okay. Total comprehensive income equals profit for the year. There were no items of other comprehensive income. The final dividend of 18,000 is proposed and recognized as liability. You can see the logic. Closing total equity of this agrees to the statement of financial position. You can see the logic. Now, let me state finally, as we begin to round off, that if we sit critically with all of these things that Claude has done, we would still find loopholes. All right. We're still going to find loopholes. All right. And all we just need to do is just tell Claude, okay, here is what you did. This is what you should do or you should have done. All right. I can even ask Claude, what do you suggest? Let me hear your logic. I want to understand your logic. Claude, you say, no, no, no. That's not the direction to go. Do this. All right. Then another thing, you are the professional. You provide context. All right, you provide context to the AI machine so that AI knows exactly the direction to go. All right. So that is that for tonight. That is that for tonight. Let me thank everyone here. We still have 43 people joined listening to my voice tonight. I would like to get your final feedback. I know you told me it was worth your time, As we round off, did you get something tonight? Did you get something tonight? Thank you all for joining from everywhere, from Abuja, from Ibadan, from Lagos. I'm not sure anybody joined us from outside the country. I'm not sure about that. Did you get anything tonight? So please, in your emails, I'm going to send the link to join the academy. You can make your payment starting from tonight, okay? And please share, help your brothers, help your sisters, help those around you. All right, from after tomorrow, 24 hours, the price goes to 25,500. After that, in July, when we start proper registrations, the price goes to 50,500, and it keeps jumping from there. So your entire team, get them onboarded on the Financial Academy. It will help your whole department. Actually, it will help your whole department. Yes. So my final feedbacks, as we say our final goodbyes. All right, director report. We don't have the time to do director's report anymore. Time is far spent. With the 20,500 allow access for August. Yeah, so yes, that is it. The 20,500 actually gives you access to the August cohort. Actually, so all the other ones are just me giving you the additions. Okay, so instead of paying the 50,500 naira for the August cohort, okay, you are paying 20,500 because you are in this webinar and you have only 24 hours to do that. Okay, so it's just like you're pre-registering, you're pre-enrolling, you're securing your slot at the 20,500 naira. Okay, so you don't have to pay 25,500, you don't have to pay 50,500 naira. With 20,500 naira, you are good for the next 25 hours, please. 24 hours, pardon me. All right. Nana Molola, this says, thank you very much. Tonight's section was truly enlightening. Thank you so much. I gained insight. Thank you so much for that feedback. I gained insight into what finance AI entails now. Yes, exactly. That's what finance AI entails. Okay, so I believe let me just say a good thank you to everyone. Thank you to Madam Temilolua, to Madam Morade, to Mr. Gabriel, Madam Peace, Financial Peace, thank you. To PJ Consults, thank you. To Sunday Oche, thank you. To Mr. Adigbite, thank you. Everyone, I might not be able to mention all your names. To Pastor Isaac, thank you. To Ade, Elani, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. To Perfect Vending, thank you for joining tonight's section. I know that you got value. So this is me saying good night to everyone. Please have a restful evening. Out for those of you that will be joining the Financial Academy, I will see you inside the academy, and you will get access to all of this recordings and all of the things I promised. All right, everyone, please have a restful evening. Good night, everyone. Bye for now.